Hello, my lovely friend, and welcome to the Soul Care Intuitive Podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Grubbs, and in this podcast, we're going to show you that you're not just ordinary, you're extraordinary. I never had any spiritual experiences as a child, and I did not discover my own psychic abilities until my late 30s. I love to share all that I have learned to show you that we all already have these skills inside of us, just screaming to be let loose. So if you're ready to awaken your soul, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hello, and thank you for being here for another episode of the Soul Care Intuitive Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. Today I want to talk about a topic near and dear to my heart, something that has been holding me back most of my life, and I don't want that to happen to you: perfectionism. Perfectionism is silently killing your life. It is silently killing your dreams. Perfectionism is a trigger that you have come in when you want to be protected, when you're afraid, because there was something in your past that wasn't perfect and you got in trouble for it. Let's say with your parents, your bed wasn't made perfect and you got screamed at. So now you have this subconscious fear in your mind that if things are not perfect, you can't do it. You can't express it. You can't put it out there. And so I want to put a stop to that today. Things do not have to be perfect. You are perfect just by being you, just by being a human being, just by showing up in the world. You are perfect. When we start putting perfectionism into our work, into our life, into our relationships, that is when things start falling apart. That is when things cannot interlock in a way that is conducive for maintaining that relationship, that job, that situation. You're never going to have the perfect relationship. There's going to be fights. There's going to be things that you need to talk about. There will be times when you need to communicate. There will be times when you will not agree. And when you put perfectionism into that, you're creating an atmosphere where your relationship can never interlock properly, where you can never connect properly. At work, if you're not at the perfect job, the perfect atmosphere, the perfect coworkers, which I hate to break it to you, is probably very, very, very rare, you get this antsy feeling in you where you need to leave or you need to find another job. Perfectionism is ruining your life. I know that it has ruined mine many, many, many times. I cannot tell you how many times when I created or started this YouTube channel and I would make videos, make content, make the little shorts, the little reels, the little TikToks, and I would see something that was wrong and I would delete it and start over. Then I would find something wrong again and delete that and start over. My hair didn't look right. My teeth are crooked. I didn't have lip gloss on. Anything and everything. It was my mind's way of protecting me to say, hey, don't do this. We're scared. The little inner child in me was saying, hey, I just want to stay here in this little safe cocoon where I'm not out in the world. Your inner child plays a huge part in the role of perfectionism showing up in your life. Your inner child is the one speaking to you through your subconscious mind, whether you're aware of it or not. And your inner child is dictating the show here because they're so afraid of getting yelled at again. They're so afraid of not having that bed perfectly made. They're so afraid of not loving the perfect way that their mom or dad wanted them to. They're so afraid of not showing up in the world perfectly because they were told how ugly they are, how worthless they are, and a whole other myriad of things that you could have been told when you were a child. And so that inner child part of you is running your life and running the show through what you see on the outside world as perfectionism. But really it's your inner child screaming for help. Hey, I'm in here. I'm afraid and I don't want to do this. So when that perfectionism comes up, this is a chance for you to heal, not recoil. I learned that lesson the very hard way. Every time I would delete a video, it would defeat me. I would feel so bad. There were so many amazing videos that I made that I loved what I talked about. I loved the journey I had gone on to be able to talk about what was in this video, but because I felt overweight, I wouldn't post it. Or because my hair didn't look right, I wouldn't post it. Maybe I looked tired. Whatever the excuse at the time happened to be, perfectionism really destroyed a lot of great content that I could have put out in the beginning of my journey. And even now, I catch myself doing it sometimes because I'm so afraid of what people will say. But in those moments, those are not the times for you to be afraid and run away. When that perfectionism comes up, that is your inner child's way, your soul's way of saying, hey, there's something to heal here. Let's not run from this. Let's go forward with it anyway. Let's show up in the world anyway and teach ourselves that we are beautiful. We are perfect. We did make that bed perfectly the way that it was. Growing up, you don't have a lot of control about what happens in the environment around you. You don't have a lot of control about who your parents are, where you're going to live, how much money you have, what your siblings are like, what your school is like, if there's bullies. You don't have control over those things. And so as you grow up, your subconscious attaches to what's happening. So if you have a father who drinks and yells a lot and tells you, you're in my way, I can't stand you, get away from me, that is going to subconsciously play a part in the rest of your life. That is going to subconsciously show up every time there's something that you want to feel worthy about. If you had a mother who didn't express love and told you, get away from me, or didn't hug you or love you or nurture you the way your best friend's mom did, and you felt that pang of jealousy whenever you saw that mom hugging and loving on your best friend, but your mom didn't want anything to do with you, that is going to show up as perfectionism because you want to be that perfect little child for your mom to love. You want to force that beautiful connection for your mom to find a reason, a way, an excuse to love you. And that shows up throughout your entire life. In your jobs, your relationships, the way you make money, the way you show up for other people, the way you connect with other people. Those things are going to keep showing up in the form of perfectionism because you want to be perfect because you were just so pushed away in your youth. You were told so many negative, nasty things, or you witness negative and nasty things, that perfectionism is your way to protect yourself. Because if it's perfect, you can't get hurt. Because if it's perfect, mommy's not going to yell at you. Because if it's perfect, daddy's not going to hit you when he's drunk this time. Those things subconsciously play in your mind. And a lot of us just go through life not even realizing it, not even accepting it, knowing it, or experiencing that part of us because we're so focused on being perfect that we don't want to go inward and reflect back to that part of us that wasn't. Okay, it's very painful, it's very hard. But I want to tell you in this podcast that you can heal from that. You can grow from that. Those experiences can actually catapult you into something beautiful, something positive, something amazing for yourself. But you have to do the hard work first. And I know that's where a lot of you are going to say, I can't. Some of you went through very traumatic experiences that you don't want to reflect back on. And I can completely understand that. But if there's things that you can work on little by little, chip away little by little to help you heal your life and step into the magic that you're meant to have, you're going to be blown away by how much freedom you feel. When you start doing inner child healing work and connecting to that part of you that was hurt, shunned, cast aside, wasn't picked first, you were always picked last. I was, because I wasn't good at sports, okay? That part of you that mommy didn't love, daddy didn't love, that part of you that daddy hit, whatever your traumatic or personal experience may be from your childhood, and there's thousands upon thousands of examples that we could give here. Your story is true, your story is powerful, your story matters to you, and whatever happened to you matters. But if you can find a way to go inside of your soul, of your heart, connect to that little version of you, that little baby inside of you, that little 16-year-old inside of you, that little 8-year-old inside of you, you can heal so much in your life that you won't even be able to recognize it. Okay, I've done inner child healing work for the last several years, and believe me, I had to do so much of it when I created this channel. And as I was deleting the videos, I kept saying to myself, why would you do that? You know, you were perfect just the way you were. Giving myself those pep talks because I really needed it in the beginning. I have always been somebody that's afraid to be seen, always. Okay? I've always been somebody that if I had to get up in front of the class, I'm not doing that. I've always been somebody that if there was conflict, I am ducking out somewhere, creeping out the door somewhere. I don't do conflict. But there comes a point in your life where it's time to evolve. There comes a point in your life where it's time to take action, to have the freedom that you want, that you know you deserve. And for me, one of the greatest ways of doing that was working on my need to be perfect. My need to be perfect was holding me back in so many ways. I remember I wouldn't go out if I had dog hair on my clothes, and I would just fanatically be getting that dog hair off my clothes. I remember I wouldn't go out if my shoes had scuffs on them because I wasn't perfect enough. I didn't look good enough. There was a point where I wouldn't go like 6 weeks without doing my hair. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're like, okay, girl, get your roots done. But I'm here, I'm showing up because I love myself. I love the journey, and things don't have to be perfect. That little girl that didn't get the praise and the love that she needed, it's okay to say, you know what? You're beautiful and you're perfect just the way you are, even with your roots showing, okay? Showing up in the world. Doing that inner healing work to say, you know, I already am perfect. Something I'm hearing from Spirit right now is that perfection comes from within, not from others. And when you're a little child, we don't see it that way. We want the approval from our teachers. We want the approval from our parents. We want the approval from our peers. And when we don't get it, we internalize that and we make it about us. Maybe your peer, your friend was having a bad day and they said, oh God, you look like shit in that outfit. Really? But they were having a bad day. But you internalize that to say, oh, I don't look good. My appearance isn't perfect. But as you grow up, as you evolve, as you strengthen your inner world, your inner self, and knowing that you're perfect and beautiful and strong the way you are, you can reflect back to those moments and say, you know, I don't think she really meant it in that way. Maybe she was hurting. However, in your adult form, you can easily say, oh, that doesn't have anything to do with me. I love myself. You know, when you're a child, it's harder to do that because you really just look for that praise. You really just look for somebody to tell you and give you permission to show up, somebody to shower you with love. You need that as a young child. But when you get older, you realize that you are the operant power in your life. You have the capability to be strong. You already are perfect. And so why keep living in those patterns? Why keep repeating that same crap every day? When I first started posting my YouTube videos and deleting them, I was deleting myself, and I didn't even realize it. I was deleting my value. I was deleting my worth. I was saying to myself, your words are not worthy to be seen because you don't look right. Your videos are not worthy to be out there because you're not as beautiful as she is. Your videos aren't worthy to be out there because you don't have the right hairstyle. Her teeth are really white and yours aren't. You can't be seen on video. I was allowing that need for perfectionism to really hold me back. And I really wish that I had started sooner on doing this inner child healing work. I do have a free inner child healing journal that you can download on my website. It's totally free, soulcareintuitive.com. It's right on the homepage. Or if you go to digital products, there are some amazing prompts in that healing child journal. They're ones that I personally have used to bring my light out into the world, where I can finally show up on video knowing that I am beautiful and perfect just the way I am. That my soul is of light, of love. This body of Melinda that I'm in is perfect. I love her, but it's not who I truly am at the end of the day. I am a soul in this body. I am beauty in this body, My core essence, which is yours as well, is love, community, togetherness, joy, happiness. It's not this need for perfectionism because our soul is already perfect. It's this world that teaches us that we're not. And I know that there's so many aspects, so many things happening in this world that make us judge everything around us, that make us say, you know what? Ooh, we need to judge ourselves, when actually we don't. We need to stop judging ourselves, stop judging others, stop putting this perfect little bubble of what everything should be. Everything should be however it is, however you show up in the world, perfect. However you look, perfect. However you feel about yourself in love, beauty, joy, happiness, perfect. You know, we put so many standards out through social media, through celebrities, through gossip, magazines, you know, all that junk, all that garbage where a woman's worth is tied to how tiny she is. A woman's worth is tied to how long her hair is. A woman's worth is tied to how beautiful she is. And I think that is where a lot of this perfectionism starts from, especially for girls. Because you see these women, these models who are size 2s, and that's beautiful. They are beautiful the way they are, but that doesn't mean that's the only way to be beautiful. And it's just shoved in our faces so much that I think perfectionism is a huge thing that everybody needs to fight through, work through, heal through. Because there is no one standard, no one way to be perfect. There is an infinite amount of ways to be perfect. There's 8 billion people on this planet right now. So there's 8 billion ways to be perfect. There's 8 billion ways to show up in the world. There is no one size fits all of perfectionism. And when you put yourself in a bubble where you have to be perfect, you're holding your life back. You're holding yourself back. You're holding back potential people that you could be helping with your content, with the way you show up in the world. Maybe you don't want to make videos, but you just want to feel more confident in your body, feel more confident in yourself. Show up in the world with love, gratitude, joy, compassion. Maybe you want to show up in the world to help others personally. When you work on clearing that need to be perfect, which you already are at your soul level, magic opens. Doors open. Things that you didn't even realize that could happen in your life will happen. When I stopped with the need for perfect videos and I just said, you know what, I'm going to be authentic, I'm going to be me, I'm going to show up, I'm going to do the thing, I'm going to be happy in my videos doing what makes me feel good, my channel blew up. I think I sat at around 500, somewhere around there, 500 subscribers for over a year. And when I stopped with the need to be perfect, when I stopped with the need to have the perfect hair, when I stopped with the need to have the perfect outfit on, and I had to have the perfect background, and I had to say the perfect things, my channel blew up. I'm at over 5,000 followers right now, and that's because I stopped with the need for perfectionism. I showed up as me. And people want to see you as you. They don't want the edited version. They don't want the you that doesn't make mistakes. They don't want the you that just sits here and reads from a script, from a piece of paper. They want the you that's bouncy. Me, I talk with my hands. I'm Italian, okay? I talk with my hands constantly. I love to smile. I love to joke. I love to move when I talk. And when I started doing that and showing up as me is when everything started to take off for me. When I got rid of the need to be perfect. When I got rid of the need to look like this creator or that creator. When I got rid of the need to follow what they tell you you're supposed to do to create a YouTube, right? One of them is to script. It is so awkward to sit here and read from a script. That's not real. That's not real life. That's not authenticity. That's not being authentic. And when I stopped following that advice, things changed for me. Or they were talking about how you should put hashtags and this and that. And I tried everything and nothing worked until I started being authentic, until I started being me. And I'm not going to edit that out because I'm making a point. You don't have to be perfect in your speech to put out a video, to be a good person. When you strive for perfectionism, you are not striving for anything. You're being afraid. When you're striving to be perfect, that is your inner world, your inner child saying to you, hey, I'm afraid here. I'm afraid to keep going. So let's make sure this is perfect before we continue. No, that's your inner child, your inner world telling you, hey, I need some healing. I need some love here. Because whatever you have to say, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, do it now. You're perfect at it just right now if you're doing it authentically from your heart. Okay, so let's work on getting rid of this perfectionism. Okay, show up as you. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to show up as a different person that you idolize. Definitely don't try to show up as a celebrity. That's nonsense. Show up as you. Show up as your authentic self. Talk with your hands. Have your roots hanging out. Who cares? Have fun with life. Have fun with yourself. Have fun with the world. We are here to have fun. We are here to experience life. We are here to taste the joys of life. We are here to experience magic. And let me tell you, as somebody who has fought with perfectionism, there is no magic in perfectionism. There's magic in authenticity. There's magic when you show up as you. There's magic when you stop worrying about what other people are going to think and you start saying, what do I think? What makes me happy? How do I want to show up in the world? Okay? Perfectionism is holding you back. Stop worrying about everything being perfect and start worrying about your inner world, your heart, your soul, your joys, your authenticity. And believe me when I tell you, doors will open, magic will appear, and your life will change in ways that you can't even possibly imagine. Thank you so much for being here for this episode of the Soul Care Intuitive Podcast. Please don't forget I have my new book out, Mediumship is Easy. It is on Amazon. I will leave the links down below. I love being an author and I love helping you step into your power. Healing limiting beliefs, of which perfectionism is a limiting belief. This book is going to teach you how to do that. It's going to help you do that. And it's going to help you step into your intuitive, psychic, and mediumship skills that you already have. We all are already born with these abilities inside of us. We've just been programmed and told to believe that we're not, but we are. This book is powerful. Let me know if you have any questions about this week's episode, this book, about myself, about my two beautiful skulls here if you're watching on YouTube. Any questions you have about me, my journey, my life, my book, this episode. I love to have the community that we have here. Reach out to me anytime. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.